Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Charlie Bengel Jr., CEO of Remax Allegiance, and welcome to the Allegiance Way and today's Daily Dose. My co-host today is Coach Extraordinaire Amy Lassen. Amy, good to see you. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It is always good to be here. I was talking to one of the people we interviewed about how nerve-wracking it is. Like, is it easier to be on video when you're interviewing somebody or when you're staring into a camera? And it's like, I just know you guys all so well that I just assume that you're out there. So I always get excited to be here too.
I think interviews easier.
Yeah.
It is for me.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So today we're going to be talking about 3 videos to start off a video career or get going with video. You had a fancy title that I didn't bother to write down. I apologize for that. But let's start with some wins first. In the last week, within 35 miles of the White House, 970 coming soon listings, 1,439 active listings, 1,929 under contract. So 1,439 on the market, 1,929 under contract, sold 1,894. So it was a super busy week within 35 miles of the White House over the last week. And some wins. Congratulations to Lynn Scram. She has a new listing and it's already under contract. Denise Buck has 2 new listings and Lisa White has a new buyer. So it is good to see that our associates are in action, and it's good to know that we continue to be in business. So I think the market's a little hotter than everybody expected when this thing, really hit, 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So with that, let's get into video. We'll talk a little bit about the video offer that I've shared with associates. We have some people signing up. I've done a couple of them. Mm-hmm. So let's jump into kind of the 3 ideas that you wanted to share, and then we'll use mine as maybe the bonus at the end.
Okay, sure. Cool. Well, I guess I want a little bit of a preface with don't let us dumbing this down hold you back. If you're on fire, stay on fire. If you're fearless, keep going. If you want to do a video every single day, great. We're offering 3 to get started with for those who still are just feeling like they can't pull the trigger. I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't have the right light set up. Charlie, you and I have heard it all, right?
Sure.
I did a brief video for everybody for something that I don't even know where it got attached or if anybody would have seen it. It's attached to a BombBomb form. Anyway, I did this for you guys. And I stood under a tree in my yard and used my phone because that's where I could get good light.
Right.
And outside has a good feel. So even though this was an explanation on a form, mm-hmm. I didn't,
Right.
We wanted to make it feel approachable. Went outside where the light was good, stood under a tree and used my phone. So you don't have to overthink this. And that's what today's broadcast is about, is we have 3 specific types of video that you could jump in and do right away and just rip off that Band-Aid and become a video active agent.
Good. I like it. Let's start with number 1.
Okay, cool. So the number 1 video that I strongly recommend you do right away, and heck, run out under a tree and do it today, is your positive, genuine, unscripted me, right? The positive, genuine, unscripted me. That one just always goes over well. It does. And those of you who saw the interview with Jessica Fateau, has it been a week or longer ago?
Yeah.
That she was on.
It was great.
She said she actually did a live video one day that she was uncomfortable with after the fact. She said, quite frankly, I think I overshared. And she went in and deleted it. So, it's not there for eternity.
Right.
That wasn't something that needed to hold her back. She has been so brave. She adopts so many of the things that we recommend here on the Daily Dose, and she just puts it out there, and it's already working. It was hilarious to interview her and ask, so how long have you been doing this, Jessica? And it was like, 2 weeks.
Right.
It's hilarious. She's just jumping all in. So I want to recommend that you rip off the Band-Aid, do the positive, genuine, unscripted me, and here are some suggestions for what that could look like. It could be a cooking thing. Right? Are you having cooking adventures at your house? Are you making do with what you have? Are you figuring out things you never thought you'd figure out? That can be a fun one. Something beautiful that you saw on a walk. Actually, that was something that Jessica shared, that she's been doing these walkabouts and getting requests. Like, would you please do a video walk of such and such area? I would love to see it.
Yes.
And then a helpful idea or a local opportunity. All that can be those are topics for your positive, genuine, unscripted self. Any of those could be so easy to do. Hold up your phone and just let it go. And don't wait for your gimbal to arrive. Don't even think it.
The ring light kit, the gimbal, the worrying about the green screen, and no, just
now I wish you guys could all see the one I did under the tree, with my arm and everything. It was fine.
Yep.
Ask Melissa.
Good.
Yeah. So any thoughts, Charlie, about how to make that one easier or not? Because my hope is, everybody, that you will leave this ready to simply just run out and do it.
I love the neighborhood walkabout idea. There are so many really cool neighborhoods where we live and little nooks and crannies that people don't know about. I think you could start a whole YouTube series with that, that people would be interested. There's a lot of folks that take the different monuments and that are around the DC metro area for granted. There's a lot of people that take the beautiful beach in Virginia Beach for granted, right? Go out on the boardwalk, shoot a video when it's a nice day, right? Go down on the mall and shoot a quick video when it's, a nice day. So I think that the opportunities are endless here. And we know that there's agents that have made, video a huge cornerstone of their business.
Yeah.
Right. And, they all got started somewhere. And, I like the idea, rip the Band-Aid off, push the kid in the pool, whatever analogy you want to use, right? And at some point, you just kind of have to just do it, right? Yeah. You and I didn't banter about having the Between Two Coaches shows for 2 years.
No.
One of us had an idea. I know that at least that, maybe I think it was coming out of a Tom Ferry event. I said, I wanted to start doing video. Yeah. You came up with the Between Two Coaches based on the, Between Two Ferns, I think. For those of you that don't know, that's how that video show got going. And we just started doing it.
Yeah.
I had never really done video before, right? Yeah. And then COVID hit and we went from 2 shows a month to 20.
Yeah.
Right. And that was overnight and we were ready to go. And we've talked about that. So I think,
Well, let's maybe back up a sec. Why? Like we're shoving this down everybody's throats. Yeah. Can we offer up any good reasons why people should rip off this Band-Aid and become more comfortable on video?
Well, what's the number 2 search engine on the internet? It's YouTube.
Right.
It's YouTube. Right. Let that sink in, audience. It's YouTube. Now, am I a video first consumer? I'm not. I'd rather actually read the article than watch the video on CNN. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I'm not normal. Right? I'm not normal. So if I were to run my video life the way I consume news, mm-hmm. you and I wouldn't be doing this. I would be doing very lengthy emails every day and they'd all get deleted. Right. So it's not about me and what I want. It's about following the folks that know how this works.
Yeah.
Right. The Tom Ferrys of the world that have been preaching video for years. Mm-hmm. And we have case study after case study of people that you and I know that get a tremendous amount of business from video. Mm-hmm. And to be able to build rapport with strangers. So when they're ready to list their house, it's a come list me. And you're not one of 3, one of 3 agents that you're going to interview is amazing. You walk in their house and they act like they know you. You've never even met. It's because of your video.
Right.
You know what? It's free. It's free.
Oh, well, boy, I wish we were taking notes. That was a lot of bulleted points. Build rapport.
Yeah.
It's free, relatively free, depending on how much production value you put into it.
And if you want to boost it and all this and that, right? There's always, you can spend money on anything, right? We know that.
Sure.
And then, that YouTube stat. I mean, there's people that, when the toilet breaks, I call a plumber. There's people that are on there, how to fix a toilet, right? And they're doing, there was what, 2 years ago, she was in the news, a single mom built a house from YouTube, from watching YouTube videos. She's probably an outlier, right? But the fact that, the amount of video that is being consumed is stunning. And I talked months ago in one of our masterminds about doing a video series that is every piece of the buying process and every piece of the listing process.
Yeah.
And it turns into a YouTube series. Mm-hmm. Most of the YouTube videos that I've seen, it's like a full hour of how to buy a house.
Right.
I'd rather hang myself. I'm not going to watch that. Right. Yeah. I'm not. Now, again, I'm not normal, right? Yeah. When it comes to video, I get it. But I'd rather see 30-second, 2 minutes, 3-minute little snippets.
Sure.
And then wherever you are in the process, you then text the snippet to your buyer or seller. So you're setting the expectation before every single step, because as you and I have talked about, all the upset in the world, all of it, all the upset is due to expectations that were not met. All of it. A death in the family, a rainy day, a sad Christmas morning when you're 8 and you thought you were going to get that G.I. Joe figure and you got something else instead, right? It's everything is about expectations. Everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going down off this tangent about how to use video and creating series and stuff, but it really does start with, just doing it. Right?
Yeah.
And even if you just want to do it on your personal page, right, where your friends see you, right, they're interested in that. They're not going to make fun of you. And frankly, if we have people that are watching this on video, step one is to go back and watch your video from this show yesterday. Seriously, right? If you have limiting beliefs around video, you need to go watch your show where you talked about your brother and him being obsessed with the worst happening, right? And I put in a link to catastrophic thinking. I don't know that he really fell into that, but it felt similar, right? There's people that are like pre-wired for that, and knowing it is the first step.
Yeah.
But if you have these thoughts about, well, if I do it, what if I fail? If I do it, what if people make fun of me?
Yeah.
What if you do it and you're successful? What if you do it and people praise you and they don't make fun of you, right?
Yeah.
Because your friends and your family members are not really going to make fun of you if you're doing video on Facebook. They're not, right? I'm not saying record a video and put it on YouTube for the entire world to see starting tomorrow. If you're not comfortable with that, fine, then don't do it.
Sure.
So, the drunk monkey, the limiting beliefs, right? I try to combat that with the Chris Kwon story, this guy who's not been in real estate that long, and he attributes his entire business now because of his videos. Right. And they're amazing videos. You think his first video was amazing?
No.
You think Tom Ferry's first video was amazing?
Yeah.
No. So, our goal.
I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
I was just going to say our goal from everything that we do is ultimately to what? To get an appointment. Yeah. So if you're somebody that sits here and says, I don't like the way I look on camera, I don't like the way I sound. Sure. They're going to see you and they're going to hear you anyway. If everything goes right. Right. I mean, think about that, right? So I just think you got to get over it. And I'm not trying to be preachy, but we've seen the success in this. And I just think that this is becoming a video first world, whether we like it or not. Right. And look at me and look at Amy, complete opposites, doing this show. But I did not decide because I wanted to do it Charlie's way and send out long encyclopedic emails to the agents every day about what they should do. We thought it made more sense to have a discussion, let people participate if they wanted to, right? And we're doing this because we know that it's the right thing to do. Yeah. Not because it's easy, not because it's fun, although this isn't painful for me, right? I mean, it's fine. Yeah. But am I more comfortable communicating, typing? Sure. That's just the way I am. I got over it. And so can you, right?
Well, I think you're making such an excellent point, and I did address this in my video yesterday about, do you just do the obvious, right? Do you do the only thing that you're good at, or do you risk embarrassment, risk failure? Because this belief that I can choose success or I can choose failure and I better choose carefully is a fallacy. Right. Success and failure are lined up perfectly on the exact same path, and you will fail forward. You will fail to your success. So waiting to feel more comfortable, waiting to feel more confident is just waiting for the tooth fairy. I don't know. It's not coming. Sorry, children who may be listening. Yeah. So I'd say whatever it is, start. And you use Chris Kwon. Maybe a lot of the listeners don't know how excellent he is at video, but I love to make fun of my one coaching client. The first video he ever sent me was so terrifyingly bad, and I just didn't even know how to give him feedback. It was just abysmal, and it didn't matter. He just failed forward, and he just kept doing it. And he does a lot of really really successful. I want to say amateur, but that makes it sound like they're crappy. They're inexpensive.
Yep.
He casts himself and his family in the roles of the actors. You know, he has this one videographer who shoots his houses and shoots his videos, and he just doesn't overthink it.
Right.
And he has gotten much, much better, but I will say it's his willingness to do it that has improved, rather than that he's wildly charismatic or, you know, absolutely dominating with some sort of intricate video skill. Right. So,
well, yeah, I mean, the first time Michael Phelps was in the pool, he wasn't an Olympic gold medalist.
No.
He sank like the rest of us, right? But then he kept doing it, right? And he kept getting better. And the same thing can be said for anything that we want to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Practice. Yep.
Yes. Number one, positive, genuine, unscripted me.
Yes.
What's number two?
Number two, a listing. Now, don't panic and say, I don't have a listing. I have a lot of examples, but this is real estate content. This is listing content. You could do a listing. You could do a coming soon. You could do someone else's listing, depending on the rules in your area. Yep. You could do some sort of a walkthrough, a video walkthrough of a property, yours or someone else's, depending on the rules. Or you could do a neighborhood walkthrough tour. Yep. Right? I love the idea, and I currently have not had time to do 52 neighborhoods a year. I would love to showcase all the neighborhoods. Like, hey, if you don't know about Patty Jewett, let me walk you through it, or whatever that might be. I know someone who does this with a bicycle and a GoPro, and then, you know, of course, edits it so that you can follow along. Yeah. But you don't have to have a listing to make a real estate specific video. So that would be my number two, is something real estate-y, something about the houses around you.
I like it. Who is that? Oh, gosh. Christoph
Chu.
CHOO. Y'all need to Google him. Co-worker, top producer, Beverly Hills. He does these neighborhood drive-abouts.
Yep.
And they get a gazillion views. It's Beverly Hills. Right?
Yeah.
People are interested in Beverly Hills. But he'll be driving along, and he uses, I think it's like a GoPro, right? That's on his windshield?
Yeah, I don't remember.
But he's like driving around. He's like, yeah, you know, so-and-so lived there, and I sold that 2 years ago. And the one on the left, you know, was da-da-da-da-da, right? It's very interesting, not just because it's Beverly Hills. It's just interesting to see, you know, and I think those of you that are agents down in the Sandbridge market in Virginia Beach, right? I mean, where a lot of vacationers go in the summertime, right? Do a walkabout or a drive-through of there, right? And there's so many other cool neighborhoods, you know, in and around, you know, DC that, you know, Georgetown, right? Do a walkabout through Georgetown. It's Georgetown, right? You're going to get views. And frankly, if all of this scares the hell out of you, why not pretend like your house is your listing? And you do a video of you in your house explaining, right, for you to get comfortable with the camera, talking, etc. So if that's a baby step for you, that's fine with me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. What else on a listing?
And I want to back up to the one that you just gave an example of doing it to your own house.
Yeah.
You could do this for practice, but you could also do it and publish it. And this would be the way. You could say, this is how virtual showings work. And just do it. You know, you're explaining your virtual service, or you're explaining your social distancing service. Yeah, and it doesn't have to just be for practice and get lost in your phone.
I like it. Good. Number three,
a market update. These can be so much simpler than maybe you realize. One of my favorite video gurus, who was kind of dominating long before the rest of us, started out with a whiteboard in his garage, and it was so funny. Like, he just didn't have room in his house. It was so funny, a chair and a whiteboard, and he would just write on it. You know, he's elevated, and he does a lot of other things. Ray Ellen still does a mix of really high-end production and then simple whiteboard with a marker.
What do you know? What town he's from? Do you remember?
He is in, is it Arkansas?
I think he is. So Ray Ellen, Arkansas, if you want to get to his YouTube page and watch his stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he just does a total mix. But he has since gone all in on video. Video is a big deal for him. But just know that none of these people started there.
Right.
You know, they started with not knowing how to do it. They started with feeling awkward. They started with poor light. You won't get better if you don't practice. So I want to make a recommendation. We could do a market update. And actually, I don't know if this will be a big fat flop or not, but let's pretend I was doing it now, right? I'm interviewing Charlie. We're talking about it. I'll share my screen. I was making notes while Charlie was talking and I didn't get them exactly right, so forgive me. But like, and I just walk through and I just tell people, you know, and then I highlight as I go and I say, are you kidding me? 970 coming soon listings. Charlie, is that single family or does that include condos? And it would not be that hard to just walk through this. So don't overthink it and don't slap yourself for not being a graphic designer. The numbers can speak volumes as long as you have stories to go with them.
I like it. I put in the comments, if some of you want to go and see what some of these people are doing, I put in the comments some of these people. So Ray Ellen in Arkansas, Kirk Stouse, one of my Tom Ferry clients in Iowa, a video a day on Facebook, and Bomb. Chris Kwon is in Irvine, California. Christoph Chu is in California. Tim Macy is another one in San Antonio. So what I don't want you to do is go and see those videos and be like, oh my gosh, these are amazing. I can't do this, right? These guys have been practicing and perfecting their craft,
right,
all of them for years.
Right.
So it's an example of maybe where you want to go, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I want to be the Chris Kwon for Washington, D.C. And, you know, I'm willing to, you know, put in the time, effort, and practice, you know, to do it. So let's not go there and get intimidated and decide video is not for you.
No, so the purpose of today, don't forget, was that you could try all 3 of the ones that we gave you. You could do them today. You could do them by the end of the week. It would not be hard to just rip off the Band-Aid and get started with video. And you have an offer to help even further.
I do, yeah. So, you know, I'm willing to interview any associate live on the Allegiance Way show. So instead of Coach Amy, it would be you, right? And I have the interview questions are ready. You get them in advance. There's no gotcha questions. This is not 60 Minutes. and the only catch is we go live to the Associates Facebook page and the Associates YouTube page. If you don't have YouTube, we create one for you. This is free, but your payment is going live, right? You're going to take up part of my day. We're going to go live. We're not just going to record it, you know, for fun. So I ask you about why you got into this crazy business, right? Tell us about yourself. I ask you about the market. How have you pivoted? How has your business changed? What are the advantages if you're a buyer or seller using you or utilizing a large brokerage with a well-known brand? And that's basically it. We're on and off in about 15, 20 minutes. We do practice ahead of time. So, you know, we've already done a couple of those. I've got more on my calendar this week. So if folks are interested, it's an easy way to be guided to getting your first video done. And then you can just turn it into a series every month. It can just be you doing the stats as Amy talked about, right? And you already have an intro video and it's with me. So
that's phenomenal.
And you'll be amazed at how supportive your community is, right? When they see you live, they'll make comments and, you know, then it's there forever. So if somebody Googles you, then, you know, they find you being interviewed on your company's Facebook show, right? It looks pretty good, right? And you can put that in like your e-newsletter or, you know, tell your clients and friends and family, hey, I've got, you know, I was exclusively interviewed on my company's Facebook show. So that's what I would do. That's how I would use this. And like I said, you just let me know that you want to do it. Chris A will get you all set up and then we'll do the interview and rock and roll and we're done. It's easy peasy.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to take us seriously. This is the time to build your brand, right? You create rapport. You work in the very visual medium that is most people's preference as opposed to long-winded emails, right?
Right.
You are establishing your professionalism so that the people who already know, like, and trust you continue to know that you have a professional service model over time. How often do people move? I don't know, once every 8 years.
Right.
So they need to know in the interim that you're still good at what you do. So you're reinforcing your professionalism over time with video. And then you are blazing a trail to new relationships with any leads or anyone else who sees your content online. So plenty of really valuable reasons to do video. And Charlie, I have an idea for a future show while we were talking. I can't believe we didn't think of it sooner. Building your video library. So what you said about let's take the entire listing process, let's take the entire buyer process and break it into those 30-second, 3-minute-long videos that explain step by step. Hey, this week is inspection. Remember we talked about this when I did when we did the buyer orientation or buyer consultation, but I just want to remind you of X. Yep. And then you fire that off, and it lives in your bomb or whatever, and you have your library ready to go.
Yeah, nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. Right? I mean, and it's amazing. I think that you'll be amazed at how much smoother your transactions are. And when it's time for the home inspection, guess what? The video is you interviewing a home inspector. Again, it's not 30 minutes. It's just telling the buyer what to expect, telling the seller what to expect from a home inspector's perspective, right? Are you going to go in and put holes in the wall? No. Are you going to unscrew the panel box? Yes. Are you going to get up on the roof if it's safe to do so? Yes. How long is it going to take? I think you told the story, Amy, about the seller who got really upset thinking that she could sit in her car with her dog or something during the home inspection, and she didn't realize that it was 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
What happened? Expectation wasn't set.
Yep.
Right? So this is good for buyers and for sellers. And like I said, it becomes a YouTube series, and you're going to get views.
Yes.
If you play your cards right. So
Nancy says she's in.
Yep. Nancy is in for and Nancy, I think you're in the queue. I will check with Chris A. I did get your message last week. So I think you're in the queue for the interview. I appreciate you being willing to do it. What else you got for us today, Amy?
I want to direct anyone who's new to the Allegiance Way show back to theallegianceway.com, because previous shows, they're always 30 minutes.
Yes.
We have topics, everything from getting out of your own way to really technical things about how to do virtual showings, how to use StreamYard, how to do a virtual buyer presentation, how to do a buyer presentation and all. That's one of my personal little passions, is that we don't do buyer presentations as much as we do listing presentations, and we absolutely need to do both. So please take advantage of all of the resources we have provided to all of you over time. Go to theallegianceway.com, download the resources, catch up on other videos.
I like it. Let's do a little preview for the rest of the week.
Okay.
So tomorrow, you are interviewing. I'm going to come on and say hello, but then you are interviewing our favorite. Jerusalem is going to bring the energy tomorrow and talk training with the group. So we certainly don't want to be missing that. On Thursday, join Amy Lassen as she discusses what you are putting in the oven. What's that mean?
Do you want me to explain it?
Sure.
Well, I think none of us, here's the question. Have you ever walked into your kitchen and opened the oven because maybe there was something in there and you just wanted to see if maybe? No, none of us have ever been so foolish as to assume that dinner or dessert just found its way to the oven without us, right? But we do it in our business all the time. Right? We just keep waiting and hoping. Maybe I'll have an escrow. Maybe somebody will call me. Did you go to the grocery store? Do you have a recipe? Did you do the things that you need to do to get something in the oven, or did you just sit around and wait? And so we are going to provide you with the shopping list and the recipe to fill your pipeline.
Good, excellent. And then Friday, we're going to wrap up. I am going to be interviewing Donna Seeker with Donofrio and Associates, and she is going to be discussing how home inspections have pivoted. We have yet to cover that. So that should be an interesting interview. Any final thoughts to wrap up today, Amy?
Do the one video. Do the one. Do it today. Go stand under a tree. I don't care. Go do the video today. You will thank yourself. Your future self will thank you. Rip off the Band-Aid. You got this.
I like it. And you know what? Do the video and send it to me. I'd love to see it. Right?
Great.
Send it to me, right? I'm happy to be your accountability partner with video. If you're interested in being on the Allegiance Way show, to broadcasting to your sphere, go ahead and shoot me an email. You all know my email address, or you can even put something in the comments here, and we will find you and get you on the schedule. We're doing only 3 or 4 of those a week. That's what my schedule allows. So if you want in, now is a good time to sign up. I think that's about it. Always good to see you, Amy. Appreciate it.
Charlie.
Take care.
Bye, buddy.
Thanks.